So the film I watched was Dropout Nation. A big significant issue in education that the film addressed was it addressed the problems of a high school going through what a high school goes through when dealing with students wanting to drop out. So those kind of problem students that you don't know how to exactly handle, this film went into depth on kind of the processes this specific school, Sharptown, went through to try to get these students back into the education system and get them that proper education they need to further on in their life. Some big main points that I saw throughout was that these students may not be students that are not trying, but they are students that are struggling. They don't know how to react to the situation they've been dealt with life, and they're just trying to figure it all out on top of school. And another main point that it addressed were that students, you don't need to just try to help them once. You may need to keep pushing them and pushing them and pushing them till they finish, or they decide they don't want to do this anymore. The last main point that I saw, were that these students may just have problems that aren't related to school, but related to problems at home or just differing factors outside of school in general. It's not always they don't understand what's going on in school. And the overall point of view of the movie that I saw was to help people understand that these students might need a lot to bring back into the education system and get them to graduate, because they're dealing with a lot. They're dealing with many different factors. They may have work that they have to do to try to feed them and family. They may have an unfortunate situation of an alcoholic parent or parents, or they're involved with many different things. And also, these kids are just, in the video, these kids behave like adults, but they don't know how to exactly handle being an adult correctly because they still have that mindset of a teenager. And one real big thing that I liked how the way this film was constructed was that it was by the students and administrators' perspective. So it was giving you a look inside of what they are going through and how it affects their school and how it affects their life in general, but it also shows you how they did that. So for one example, in the movie in Sharptown High, one of the students was really struggling because at home he was having to take care of his dad when his dad got drunk, and one of the administrators let him stay at her house so that he could do better. And I thought that was a really good way of communicating these main points that I said earlier. And some elements in this film at sometimes were a lot, because, like I said, these teens are having to grow up so fast and just not enjoy the life of being a teenager. So some of these stories were very hard to listen to. Like the one girl, I think her name was Sparkle. She struggled having to find a place to live every night, and sometimes that was just a little hard for me to watch sometimes. And I believe this film corresponds to what past teachers have told me before, where some of these students are having to be something they're not ready for, and they're confused by that, and they don't know how to deal with the situation of maybe having to feed themselves by working and trying to balance school with that. And so that's kind of my synopsis on Dropout Nation.